There you go, Alex. That's a good idea. The reason why I think selling in webinar is just the best thing ever, just best skill set for any internet marketer to learn. If you can't tell, selling SEO via webinar is not too hard from selling an info products via webinar. It's not too hard from selling a health supplement. It's not too hard for selling personal consulting in any other business out there. So the one thing I really want to tap on and what we're doing a lot in Dynasty, how many people here have business going on that isn't all SEO? How many people here, give me a one if not all of your business is SEO based? We got Stephen right here, we've got Bradley, of course, and Steve and Bradley, do you feel like you can use what you've learned here to sell other stuff that's not just SEO? Yeah. And I mean, frankly, if you guys wanted to go out there, but it was like what I want to do in the future, just is one thing, just kind of brief little intro to the power of webinars and being able to sell stuff in that kind of format. What I want to do in the future, I want to make like a little health powder with all this like health stuff I've been learning, and start like using the same exact advertising means you guys have seen me using, and start selling like this health powder through webinars at like $80 a pop at first, and start building it off there. So just the one thing I really want to tap on is just being able to sell from webinars enables you to it allows you so many options of ways to just get access to the best way to convert people online. So it's a really, really, really freaking important thing. It's literally changed my career internet marketing forever. So what am I up to right now? Just a short little intro. All right. The Zen launch. All right. It's tomorrow. Holy crap. Literally what we've been doing the past week, and this is kind of what I'm up to part. Are you guys interested in this? Do you guys like kind of seeing the current things I'm working in? Give me an XXX if you like this, or I can just jump straight into the info. Okay, cool. Awesome. Just catering this, like I've said before, Zen, we got a very small group. We're completely capped at 100. So if you leave, you will lose your spot. But the cool thing about Zen is we got enough people here. So this is like custom catered to exactly what you want. Well, we do have the Zen launch going on tomorrow, and it's just going absolutely insane because Alex Cass, my partner, you guys always ask what he's doing. He's out there. How many people have seen like the Facebook ads for like, SEO Zen all over the place? Give me like a one if you've seen like the Facebook ads and stuff like that. The affiliate ads, the normal ads, all that stuff is just going out there. And a lot of the affiliate ads are, of course, our affiliates doing that. But Alex has gone out there and he's just had advertising constantly chasing around affiliates and JV marketers. And our biggest launch was like, I think Omega way back in the day. And I think we had about 200 people, 200 affiliates signed up prior to the launch. At this point right here, we have close to 500 affiliates through the marketing Alex has done. And he's literally only spent around $1,000 with the marketing, but he's literally brought on 300 to 400 new JVs to come out and promote us. And so this is all stuff I'm learning with him as well at the same time. So it's just absolutely something crazy to get other people to promote your business and stuff like that. It's something we'll be teaching a lot more actually in the next month to come. Been doing tons and tons of Facebook advertising. Basically, how many people here think if they were to ever launch their own service or product, finding affiliates to promote it would be pretty hard? Give me a two from that. You're just two or a one if you think it'd be really easy. All right. I always think it'd be really hard. All right. But what we're doing, Facebook advertising, just with that alone, we've just been attracting tons and tons of people to the pre-launch page that you guys might have seen. I'm going to be showing you guys everything about that, depending on how you guys answer the poll that's coming up, depending on what you guys want to look at. But we've just been saying tons and tons of people that. We literally have just about 2,000 people on the waiting list for SEO Zen. It's not going to be like Autopilot where there's like a first come, first serve by any means. But literally there's 2,000 people signed up to get on the launch day price with all the affiliates blasting it. It's looking to just be an absolutely cataclysmic launch. So pretty cool stuff. And you guys are, of course, going to be seeing all the kind of stuff going on behind that. What I'm also doing next month, I'm doing just massive overhauls to basically every business I have, like just organization, accounting, and just cutting up all the loose ends, maximizing the way I send emails and like put emails together, like the follow-ups. We're moving over to Infusionsoft and stuff like that, and just massively organizing all the businesses to just cut out any slack. And I was like doing like little like notes the other day. And at this point, if I can save my business 1% of money, or I can close up 1%, it saves me an extra $1,000 per month. So I came up with like 15 ways to save 1% of the business per month, or fix 1% of the business, and literally increase my income just by doing something as simple as going in and just overhauling your business and making sure everything's organized. Now, the big point of that, the big interesting point to organizing your shit is based on like the advertising we're doing and stuff like that constantly, the way we have our email set up, the way we're about to have all of the emails, anybody that ever comes through SourceWave, the way they are interacted with the second they come on the site or come through any of our business, and everything's about to be massively changed in a way to just completely, I think, shoot me down, a little increase our business by about 30% instantly. Well, at this point, with me and Alex's combined income is about $60,000 per month. Just increase just from changes in organization. So it's going to be really cool stuff that I will be kind of showing off in the future. Finally, I'm also creating a new webinar product to be sold via webinars. And this won't be like a webinar product. You guys probably remember 500K. This won't specifically be a webinar product to be sold to SourceWave. It's literally going to be, how many of you guys have ever bought a product and the first thing that happens after the product is you get invited to a webinar where then a high-end product is sold? Just give me one if that's ever happened to you. Yeah, everybody here, pretty much. Yeah, it's very, very common practice in the JV world. And one thing I'd really like to teach people how to do here, and I think one of the fastest ways to make a lot of money with your own product is to kind of skip the launching altogether and make your own webinar product for about $197 to $297. And what you guys might notice is a lot of times after you buy a product and they sell via the webinar, you'll notice a lot of times the webinars are usually run by a person other than the person who sold the product. So what we're literally doing is there's all these people constantly launching SEO products. So what we're doing is we're making our own SEO product to be sold, and we're just literally going to start tacking this on to the end of people's launches. So we're not even going to really launch products that much anymore. We're just going to tack this on to the ends of other people's launches because they don't have another product. And I just want to really stress and give you guys just an idea right off the get-go right here that sometimes you don't have to be the person launching products. You don't have to be the person creating all the traffic. Literally, if you could just create a product for someone to sell at the end of their funnel, what I'd like to just let you guys know, a lot of times after a lot of web designers, they sell web design or whatever. A lot of people sell anything internet marketing wise. The more they can tack onto their funnel, the better. So sometimes creating a product just to be the end of someone's funnel that you can just kind of swap around and to move to the end of different people's funnels is a great way to make just a humongous income. Just letting you know, good webinar products at the end of launch funnels usually do about $30,000 per showing. All right. So if you're just a single affiliate and you create your own good webinar product based on whatever it is out there, you could literally go out there and just make $15,000 for doing an hour-long webinar, and that's just real power of that. All right. So just a real quick question, real quick. How many people here think it would be somewhat within their reach at this moment if they had training to do so to create a webinar product? I mean, just give me an X real quick. Yeah, and that's really, in my opinion, one of the easiest ways. If you can create a good webinar product and sell via webinar, all right? You have you noticed that most people, you probably noticed that a lot of people can't sell via webinar very well, or they're just absolutely horrible at that. And that's why most JV launchers have to bring in other people to do their webinars for them. So, oh crap, oops, no, don't show that. Don't want to show my face on that. I've hit the wrong button, but most JV launchers don't want to do their own webinars. They want to have someone else do it. So if you're a person who can learn to sell via webinar, like I just taught you guys how to do, if you created a webinar, I've routinely made about $15,000 between me and Alex. Routinely made about $15,000 just for an hour of work in a webinar. So keep that in mind. So Robin said, would you recommend any software info products? Right now, the training to sell via webinar is literally something I learned from Mario Brown that was passed down to him from Frank Kern way back in the day, or actually just not way back in the day, just through Frank Kern's training. So I don't really know any products out there to teach how to sell through webinar step by step like you guys have gotten. On top of that, the last thing I'm really working on, not really working on at the moment, but I'm putting together a ranking tool, perhaps with another very famous SEO. I'm not going to be releasing his name yet because it's not like we're still talking about doing it, but we're going to be doing basically just a rank tracking tool to replace all the people who always want their rank tracking and stuff like that. Just a simple way to just constantly be active in the SEO niche, just making money regardless of what you're doing in the SEO niche. So brief look into the Zen launch. We'll get into that a little bit at the end of the webinar because just talked about a whole lot of stuff. But what I wanted to ask you guys is I think we talked about this at the beginning of the webinar before we're recording, but what really interests you guys in the future of Dynasty? Because we're going to be getting the Facebook advertising, a few more high-end client things, which is just an amazing way to make money. I don't know any better way to really make money. Well, there's a ton of ways to make money right now, but it is the high-end client way is just something that's just it's just not hard to make money with. Not even having to really put together that solid of a presentation. I mean, the presentation I put together was good, but I'm going to show you everything behind it and why it's just so easy to put together. But what do you guys really want to do in the future? Do you guys want to see how to create your own product to generate tons of leads and then sell it in the service? Do you want to see how to create an SEO service that makes a lot of money? Do you want to see how to get more clients? It's all going to be based on what you guys are going to say. And what I'm going to be sending out is a poll, literally just saying, hey, what do you want me to teach you in Dynasty? I've created, SEO membership sites with thousands of members paying $50 per month. I think, well, 1,000 of members paying $50 per month. I've created an SEO service that's about to break, 6 figures a month. Literally, whatever you want to see, I can show you how to do. So I'm going to be sending that all out, and that's all stuff you have to look forward to in Dynasty. Literally, I think this next month with Omega, I think I'm going to break my first 150K month. Not preaching like, look how much I'm doing profit-wise. I'm just preaching like I can show you all the businesses that go into that. Everything goes in that. And it's all SEO-based, all services, everything like that. So cool stuff like that. All right, cool. All right, cool. Well, I'm just going to let you guys know that we're going to be sending out a poll, and by what you guys answered, that's what we're getting into. So let's just get right down into it, guys. All right. So let's talk about the webinar I put out. All right, we have a few people to come in. Just give me an X real quick if you found that blueprint the over the shoulder, just seeing me selling literally to people. Did you find that useful? Just give me an X or whatever you want to throw out there real quick. Yeah, a lot of people. All right, cool. Yeah, I thought that was pretty valuable information. I'm glad they could get that out there. Now, what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to be wrapping up selling to clients via webinars. I think what we might be doing, and then not next month, but the month after, I'm going to be talking a little bit about selling a product via webinars or selling a service via webinars. One really great way to sell a service like Autopilot or a high-end webinar product based around SEO. And also SEO is a great niche to get into. Wise, I know a lot of people here might be intimidated. How many people here would be intimidated launching their own product? Give me one if you'd be intimidated launching your own product. Just a quick show of hands. And don't worry about I don't think any less of you or anything like that. Just throw it out there. Just give me an honest one at the moment. Yeah. Honestly, the way I first got into launching products, I just met Alex one day, and he's like, "Dude, we should launch. I'm launching products in the Warrior Forum." I'm like, "What the hell is that? And why would you ever do that?" And no, I don't want to do that. Literally, I was like, "No, I don't want to do that." And literally, that first launch we did after that kind of changed my life forever. I want to talk a lot about selling, a product or selling your own service via webinars and stuff like that, and just really to lay out there real quick. Then just the SEO world right now, it's really hurting intelligent minds wise. Don't go out there and be like Becker's calling everyone stupid, but there's very few people that are successfully really giving quality products to the SEO community right now. It's kind of a void. So it's just an excellent place. There's a huge demand for products, and there's very, very little competition at the lower levels. It's very, very, very easy to break in and have a $50,000 to $100,000 launch, maybe your first or second launch. So keep that in mind. And I say this as all serious, just straight face. I'm not pitching anything here. I could really see anybody here with a little bit of training, having a $50,000 launch, making $20,000 in one day. That's what we're going to be talking about. Anyways, I got off on a little tangent. But what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be going in an over-my-shoulder, step-by-step review of what I'm doing in that webinar. I'm going to be going. I have little cliff notes the whole entire webinar. You'll get the webinar PowerPoint after. You can see all the cliff notes I put in. This is what I'm doing right here. This is why I'm doing it. Blah blah blah. All right. Does that sound cool to everybody? Give me an X. Awesome. Then we're going to be covering I'm going to be covering a few more webinar tactics that I can throw in this webinar. I'm going to be talking just a few more extra webinar tactics. Then we're just going to do webinar Q&A. You guys got questions about webinars? I will answer your questions about webinars. Questions and answers. Go figure. All right. So let's just hop into that. All right. Give me one moment. Oh, also, you guys asked way back in the day. One sec. Give me one sec, guys. Just want to show you just a funny example. All right, so remember when I talked to you guys about high-end niches or just making your own websites and renting the pages out? Give me one if you like remember me talking about that a while back. Yeah. Just literally someone's like, hey, Becker, can you make an example site? And so I literally did just the other day. You can see right here, find rhinoplasty surgeons, rhinoplasty surgery Plano. I'm literally in the process of, I'm going to rent this page out for $100 per month. But the funny thing is, just to show you guys how easy this is if you're not doing this, like even if you type in just like rhinoplasty Plano, just long tail high end niches, I believe it's like, you can see it's like number 8 right here. And it's really funny if you like type in rhinoplasty surgeons Texas, and this is just with like a few little backlinks, all right? No real effort whatsoever, but you can go, if you type in like rhinoplasty Texas, I believe it is, oh wait, rhinoplasty surgeons in Texas. It might not be showing up on the Texas page anymore, but if you went over to like the second page of Texas, it was like showing up second page for, yeah, you can see it's already on the second page for rhinoplasty surgeons in Texas. This is a really quick example of how easy it is to like just rent out and sell to high-end people. Like, give me an X if you think I could sell that to a rhinoplasty surgeon in Plano, like $100 per month. You're second in Google for rhinoplasty Plano. Yeah, it's like the easiest thing in the whole entire world. That's why, like, I don't know. Like, I had some guy the other day who was like, this is obviously just a scam method. It will never work. And I'm like, I don't see the problem, man. I'm confused. But anyways, just if you guys, anybody here is trying to make a quick buck or something like that, you know, I'm not actively doing this, and I'm actively going after high-end clients. I prefer to do that, bigger bang for your buck. But anybody here who's trying to make a good side income, I can literally rank. Like, I literally just made that site like within a 60 seconds time using SEO Zen as just an example, and then put that site out there, and then just ranked it. You know, I can rank for like 10 suburbs like within a day using that. Not even the software, even if you just want to be like manual labor kind of person. I just really want, if anybody's here is having trouble, breaking in a high-end niche or kind of selling and getting their first clients doing stuff, just that easy. All right. Someone said, would I sell that spot during a webinar? Way too much effort for a single sold spot. Way too much effort. I would literally just call up places and be like, hey, I'm ranked second. Would you like this spot? So, and someone asked which one it is for rhinoplasty surgery. Plano. All right, and again, it's like not a competitive search, and it's not a tough search to rank for. I'm not up here like, look at my SEO prowess. I'm saying, look how easy it is to make. That's just $100 a month right there. All right, I can make like 18 pages like that in a flash with like SEO Zen or just heck manually, and yeah, it's pretty dang stinking easy to sell that to a surgeon. I mean, look at all these guys up here paying for spots. So just a quick little example. All right, so let's hop over to the surgeon webinar. All right. So how many people here did not see this webinar? All right, how many people did not watch the replay of this? Give me an X if you didn't. Give me an X if you don't know what I'm talking about, because that means you didn't watch it. So are you guys kidding me? I'm going to hit you guys. You got, like, everyone was asking, like, could you make, like, give me an X, like, give me a 1 just for sure if you did not watch this webinar. If, like, you did not watch it. Yeah, I'm going to hit you guys with like a dead fish. Okay. For everybody who didn't watch this or doesn't know what I'm talking about, in the blueprints area, if you guys see, this is why I need to organize the businesses a little bit better so people know when like groundbreaking trainings release. Anyways, you guys will report to me after, and I will beat you with a spiked baseball bat. Come on, guys. So, all right. But anyways, what I did in replay, and this will make more sense to you. Good. This webinar is being replayed, so you can go back and watch this after you do what you were supposed to do. But what I put on Source Dynasty is I literally released a replay of me, selling to surgeons. Like, I had a surgeon webinar. I had about 24 people on. I believe it's about 24. All right, don't quote me. It's somewhere around there. 24 people on, and I sold my high-end, surgery service, that thing I do, I've been talking about for the past 2 months, to them live, and you see me literally doing it live, selling to them everything I do to get the sale. All right. So yeah, so extremely important. So what I'm going to do, guys, what I'm going to do in this webinar is I'm going to walk through this whole entire webinar that I did with them, the cliff notes, and what you guys would have seen, or what you did see. I'm seeing about maybe like 10 people here didn't see it. We have about 26 people here right now, so 10 people are going to get hot sauce thrown in their eyes. That's what we're going to start doing here. But what I did in that, like, you'd see me selling, so forth. I think I've explained it enough by now. However, what I'm going to do now is going to be like the play-by-play. It's going to be like after the football game. If anybody here ever played football, I was horrible at football, but I did play for some reason. After the football game, the coaches all bring you in, and you watch the game, and you watch everything in slow motion, you explain everything that's going on. And that's kind of what we're going to be doing here in this kind of NFL replay. And what I'm going to be doing is breaking down everything I'm doing on every single slide, and this will make 10 times more sense once you watch the actual replay of that for all the people that didn't watch it. However, yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing. So everyone excited? Cool, awesome. I'm drinking like this Synergy organic raw tea right now, and I don't know if it's like making my throat feel good or making my throat feel worse. I have like a little bit of a sore throat. I think my girlfriend gave me like the flu or something. Anyways, let's get into this. So first things first, guys, if you guys saw when I started the webinar, first thing I did is I just sat there with this screen on, and this was like about 5 minutes before the webinar started. And I did exactly what I've done in every webinar you've ever seen me do, is I sit around and talk to people and get everything going. Now, why do I do that? Well, first off, the most interested people in the webinar are, of course, going to show up 5 minutes early. I tell them it's going to fill up. So what does that mean? All right, so 5 minutes before the webinar, I have a handful of people that are very interested. All right, those are my target customers. All right, the people, whenever the SourceWave webinars are on, the first 500 people that show up are obviously the people that are most interested in attending. All right, give or take. All right, so what I want to do before the webinar is when I have 7 or 6 people on, all right, there weren't that many people on there before it, is I talk to all of them. I kind of shoot the shit with them. Why do I do that? To build rapport in a one-on-one almost basis with my best targeted customers. All right, is when the webinar gets going, that kind of chance to build that connection fades away because, you're talking to the crowd. You're on not really a time clock, but you're moving with the pace of the webinar. So what a better time to pick out maybe the 7 people that are most interested and say, hey, my name is Alex. It's so great to see you at this webinar. Blah, blah, blah. And that's not exactly what I'm saying. I'm not on stage like, oh my God, I'm so happy you're here. But I'm literally just talking to people, and you're building that rapport one-on-one kind of basis right from the get-go with your best customers. All right, so that's exactly why I do that. It also helps you warm up a little bit. So keep that in mind. All right, so the slides and everything, and I'm going to be getting into the nitty-gritty and all that kind of stuff here. So the slides, how I got this slide to look so good, all right, basically all I did is I went out on Google and I typed in PowerPoint backgrounds, got this background, and then I just literally went into Photoshop and I made 2 slides, all right, and I literally just typed in Surgical Marketing Mastermind, how to double your mommy makeover client base this much. We'll be starting at 3 p.m. Eastern, all right? Now, there's a whole bunch of reasons, and that's just how simple it was, all right? There's literally, I have created 2 slides or neat-looking slides of this whole entire thing. Let me explain why everything is the way it is. Of course, what you have right here in big bold letters is the thing they came to. All right, don't just have a blank slide. Don't just, and some of this stuff is going to seem common sense, but how many of you guys have just attended a webinar and it doesn't start till like the minute of, and it's just a black screen? Yeah. All right, one sec. Andrew said, what do you do to build rapport? All right, so Andrew, it's exactly how I'm doing it right now with you. I'm just talking like, hey, Andrew, how was your weekend going? Or, someone drops in, I see like what I'll do at the beginning of the webinar. I'll hop on like, hey guys, what's up? This is Alex Becker. I see we got Dan, Carl, Andrew here. What is up, guys? Can you hear me okay? All right, cool. I got this like neat little microphone, and it's not like I'm sitting up here at the beginning of every webinar. I'm like, first thing I'm going to do is tell them about my microphone to put them at ease. And then that's not what I'm doing, but I'm just like, hey, what's going on? Did any of you guys see like Thor? It came out today. And then someone's like, no, I didn't see Thor. Or that new movie. Or did anyone see Rush? I'm like, hey, did anybody see that? It came out today. And some people are like, no, and some people won't. And I literally just talking to people. I know this might be kind of uncomfortable at first. Some people here that might be comfortable. Some people here might want to just open up the microphone and start singing like a Christina Aguilera song. However, it's just a good way to build that rapport and be like, hey, this is like a fun, upbeat webinar. We're not just here to talk about marketing. Really important thing, and just little like personality things like that go a long way. It's imagine if you were buying a Lamborghini and you walked in and the guy's like, would you like to buy a Lamborghini? Let me show you Lamborghini. Instead of like taking interest in you and just talking and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. So, of course, what I also do in the titles on the home slide and stuff like that, I try and carry over as much as what I did in the lead pages page where it said, double your mommy makeover client base this month. I want to keep it over so like they know when they show up, they're in the right place. All right. And go to webinar. All you do is you just load up the slide and then you pause your screen. All right, so you're literally just sitting right there. Here's everything right there. All right. Of course, you want to have the starting time again. Like you want them to be like 100% sure this shit's going to happen. All right. Then what I also do right there, again, toolbox picture, like, hey, this is me. Look at me being all professional, hosted by Alex Becker and like cool little squiggly writing. So it's like all like stuff they've seen on TV before. And that's just stuff right there to make them be like, all right, cool. I'm at Alex Becker's meeting. It's about Double Your Mommy Makeover, about the client base. We're going to be starting right here. I have nothing to worry about. Oh, look, he's talking right now. I'm for sure in the right place. I'm staying here. I'm paying attention. All right. Just that alone, really quickly, will it just absolutely, that will like change the amount of participation you have in the webinar. If you can get people talking at the beginning of the webinar, those same people will be talking to you throughout the whole entire webinar. All right. So keep that in mind. All right. So okay. So I have a welcome slide here, just like I always do. All right, welcome slides, very basic. For what you always want to do on your slides, you want to have the title of whatever the hell you're doing up here, Surgical Marketing Mastermind. All right, and this is all common sense things, but common sense escapes a lot of people, especially when you're looking at the big picture. This is the nitty gritty stuff that you will forget to do. For attendees that join late, you want them again, like you're in the right place. You're in the Surgical Marketing Mastermind. All right. Has anybody here ever walked into like a seminar or like a concert and not been sure they were at the right place? Like, give me a one if that's ever happened to you. Yeah, all the time. All right, you got to have that stuff, or you have like the people who are this. You don't want a person. You want the person the second they join to go, okay, cool, I'm in the right place. Oh, cool. All right, look down. Oh, Alex Becker speaking. That's the guy from the lead page. All right, I'm caught up. Let's listen. You don't want them walking and going, is this the right place? I'm gonna wait for him to say surgeon a few times, and yeah, you don't want that to happen. All right, so there's common sense stuff that you will forget if you don't remember it. All right, you will forget it if you don't remember it. Anyways, all right. First thing I do before I get into anything, all right. If you guys saw the first slide, I go, all right. So, have you ever attended a marketing webinar before? I put in quotations. All right. So, a lot of people the surgeons who attend the webinar, they're like, okay, he's just asking me, he's just getting everything warmed up. But what I'm really doing when I ask this question is, it's my first attempt to get their attention, all right? It's my first attempt to get them to, I'm trying to establish some believability, all right? I'm trying to build rapport as well, like, hey, I relate to you and stuff like that. And I'm preparing to deliver a message. I'm preparing them to get the sales message delivered to them. But before anyone will listen to any shit that has to come over my mouth, even if it's great, just useful, valuable information, we need to, like, relate, all right? We need to just relate, and I need to have their attention. All right, and for me to have their attention, they have to believe that I'm going to be telling them cool stuff. I have their best interest, and I'm a believable person. All right, so I asked, have you ever attended a marketing webinar before? All right, how much fun was that? How much fun was that? And I'm sure everybody here agrees. Like everyone's like, yeah, I've attended shitty marketing webinars before, and I hated them. So that's what I said. I say, who here has ever attended a marketing webinar before? Hit one real quick if you've attended a marketing webinar. So everybody starts hitting one. I'm like, oh yeah, we got Steve over here, and I'm just using random names from the audience that we have right here. We got Dan, we got Michael. They're all hitting one. Yeah, everybody here. Look, I've attended a marketing webinar before. It's not a lot of fun. And the best way you can really catch attention, guys, and again, this all sounds like really common sense stuff, but a lot of people just don't use images in their webinars to explain feelings. All right, you can't explain feelings or get people's attention with just words. So what I have here is just like the guy sleeping. I'm like, look, it was a lot of fun, right? So what I've done right there, right off the bat right there, that whole 2 slides right there was to establish that attention. Like, look, before we get started, anybody who here has attended a marketing webinar before? I'm giving them a chance to participate. I'm asking them a question that they did not see coming. They're like, oh, what do you mean have I ever attended a marketing webinar? All right, I build believability by being like, look, all right, look, I've been there before too. Yeah, it sucks. This is not going to be a marketing webinar like that. I walked into like a webinar conference one time, was just like asleep at my desk. We're not going to do that. All right, build believability, building rapport, because I'm not just going straight into it. I'm like, hey, look, guys, we were late. All right, we both hate annoying salespeople. I hate that too. And then I have them opened up to deliver the message. All right, it's like, I don't know, like taking someone's body armor off before you shoot them. Okay, so everybody get that real quick. Everybody just get that quick little point right there. Give me an X real quick. Okay, cool. Or just type a vowel from now on. That's the new thing. All right. So next thing I want to do, I want to jerk them awake with a big image that jerks them awake. Like, warning. All right. This is going to be weird, casual, and maybe even offensive. All right. Why do I say that? All right. Why do I say that? Right off the bat, I want them thinking, why is this going to be weird, casual, and maybe even offensive? During the webinar, I was not nearly as weird, casual, or even offensive. I don't even think I told one inappropriate like celebrity or potty joke the whole entire time. It was kind of weird. However, I say that, I'm like, look, this is going to be weird, casual, and maybe even a little offensive, just to work, like, snap them up. Have you guys ever seen like the DVDs at the store that says like the adult rated version? Why do companies do that? So they can get more sales and get more people's attention. People are like, why is it adult rated version? All right, so I'm going to show more nudity in it or something. All right, so that's exactly why I do that. Now, I'm not saying go up there and be like, I'm going to come up here and cuss and I'm going to offend you people. All right, if you don't want to do this right there, just be like, look, this is going to be a really casual webinar. Just warning to anybody out there that is used to like some professional, boring stuff. And then what I do is I want them to, I need to jump in front of them and I need to address exactly what they're thinking and they're probably going about this webinar. They're behaving like they have in every other webinar. All right. All right. So for example, a pattern interrupt, basically. Yeah, exactly. All right. But not even so much more of a pattern interrupt. It's more of just, it technically is if you go by like Frank Kern terms and stuff like that, but it's more of just like, hey, you need to snap out of this beat. All right. I'm not explaining it the exact same way Frank Kern explains it. But anyways, when a person's at a webinar and stuff like that, you must know that they think it's going to be like every other webinar they ever attended. I even think that and stuff like that. I mean, if you want to catch my attention at the end of the webinar, be like, look, I'm not going to pitch you this whole entire webinar. I'll pitch you at the end, but I'm going to give you lots of cool shit in between. You got my attention right there. All right. So what I say is my goal is to make sure you leave with a surefire way to attract more clients this month. All right. So what I'm really saying and what they're hearing is this is not going to be like every other webinar. If you pay attention, you will make money. All right. Just like that. Just as simple as that. Like, hey, this is not going to be like every other webinar, so don't act like you're in every other webinar. Now, all these by themselves get maybe 1/3 of the job done. That's why I use 3 of them in a row. All right. I relate to you. I build believability. I jerk you awake. I say this is going to be casual. I have fun with it. And then I go through and I tell you my goal. I'm like a really good guy, and that's what they hear, but also what they're hearing subconsciously is all right, this is not like any other webinar I've been to. No guy's ever done this before. So not only, I built that believability up here, all right? And I know I'm jumping around a little bit. It's kind of I'll slow down my head a little bit. But I built that believability up here. I built the believability again here. Why would I say I'm going to be casual and offensive if I was lying, all right? And then right here, when I say my goal is straight up, this is not going to be like every other webinar. And by the way, guys, everything in blue is my Cliff Notes. All right? Don't know if anybody ever got that. So the blue right here is now that I have the believability, now that I have a rapport, I go, look, guys, now let's get down to business. This is not going to be like any other webinar. And if you pay attention, this is going to make money. Now, of course, I say that in the black way. All right? I mean, I say that, let's just say in the way that sounds racist. I say that in the black text way. All right? But I make sure that you will leave with a surefire way to attract more clients this month. That's how I say that. All right. So look, and then what I go is now I jump into the benefits. All right. I got their attention. I got their believability. I got them thinking, okay, maybe if I pay attention and give this guy a chance, I'm going to make some money. All right. So what you're going to see, a simple way to generate leads via Google, a simple trend in divorcees that this is an old slide. This is an actual. This is the actual version, but it doesn't have the edits. All right, there's a mistake right there. How to become the go-to specialist, and I cross that area and I put state. And what you really want to rework this to is what I'm saying right here is you're going to see these 3 benefits, and it's hard for people. The reason why I do this is literally just so people know what's coming up. All right, it's hard for people to anticipate and be on the edge of their seat for what you're about to say if they don't know what's coming up. So it's literally like, imagine you walk into a concert or something like that, and you say, oh, by the way, Metallica is going to be playing, and then Van Halen's going to be up, and then I'm just going to get on stage and do karaoke, all right? It's just literally going up there and telling people what to expect and building that anticipation. Now, though, of course, don't have like letdown things at the end of your webinar. Start off with like the things they kind of want to hear, and then end with like the big bangs or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. Everybody following along real quick? Everybody making sense? Cool. Someone's like, it's really funny. I told everyone to type in the vowel, and someone's like, came out E-I-E-I-O. That's like the combination of everybody typing it. All right. So here's where the real stealth manipulation of people's minds comes into play. And it's not like evil. I'm selling them something they really need. So the big question is, how much is 1 to 2 more mommy makeover surgeries worth per month to you? All right. Now, why am I asking this? Am I asking this because I want to know? No, of course I know, all right? Of course I know how much it's worth them. I know this already. What I'm doing is I'm assigning value to everything I'm doing in this webinar by faith and, oh, wait, assigning value through questions and assigning faith by, okay. I'm assigning value through questions and assigning faith by internal logic. All right, so let me explain what that means. All right, in their minds right now, what I'm saying has no value. All right, it has the value of words. It has the value of what you see in making a movie. Maybe it has a value of $12. Maybe it has a value of something. All right, and the really funny thing about money and anything people ever buy is everything has its own assigned custom value in people's heads. All right. When a person buys a Lamborghini, the car costs $200,000, but in the person's head, the car is worth $500,000 for the experience and stuff like that. So they feel like they're getting a deal, right? No one ever buys something when they feel that it's equivalent to. It's when they feel like it's less than equivalent to what they're paying. All right. So what I have to do, and first off, going out there and saying this is worth $10,000 doesn't do anything. Has anybody ever seen those value stacks? At the end of presentations or on like the Home Sales Network, where like this thing right here is a value of $24, and now you're getting 2 of them and stuff like that. Yeah, is that the same value in your head? No, because you haven't assigned a value in your own head. Now, the people who've been watching that commercial, who have the value built up, and they think like the hair hurricane is worth like $100 or more, and they're getting it for $24. Hell yeah, they're going to jump on it. So you have to assign that value in people's heads before you even try and get them to buy anything. So what I'm doing is how much is 1 to 2 more mommy maker surgeries worth per month to you? I know how much it is. It's about worth anywhere from $30,000 to $60,000 for them. All right. So what they're saying, all right, $60,000. That's the value that they've assigned in their head. Okay, yeah, of course. That's how much 1 to 2 more surgeries is. Easy question to start off with. All right. Now, what I'm going to do throughout this webinar is, as I'm assigning value, I'm going to give them faith that the value is true, and then faith in me by their own internal logic. All right, you're never going to convince someone that what's the word for it? That everything you do for them is going to work until they believe in their own head, until they've worked it out. If they go, all right, if he does this and he does this and he does this, there's no way I couldn't succeed. All right, so you have to get them to work through that in their head. So I asked that. All right, how much is 1 to 2 more surgeries worth to you per month? All right, they say $30,000 to $60,000 in their head. All right, next thing I ask. Then this information, the thing I say then is, then this information is going to be worth 6 to 7 figures to you. All right. So I'm assigning real value to my service through what they just told me. All right. So I say, what I'm saying in the webinar is like, look, all right. So over the span of 12 months, if this gets you, you guys are just telling me, over the span of 12 months, all right, if this gets you 1 more client per month to you, this is worth 6. And maybe if this gets you 2 clients, this is worth about 7 figures almost to you. All right. If this gets you 3 clients, holy moly. All right. So what I'm doing in their head is I'm saying, look, this information is worth this by what you just told me. All right. And of course I say, are you skeptical? All right. So I'm building this massive value to my service before I even try to sell them anything. And you can see this whole webinar, I'm building the value of my service to the freaking moon, to the point where I'm like, oh, it's only $5,000 per month. We're like, only? So keep that in mind. Now, I say skeptical. All right. You cannot truly assign the value of something to anybody. They have to justify it in their own head. All right, that's why I say skeptical. All right, me coming up here and saying, well, this is worth 6 to 7 figures to you, doesn't mean it's worth 6 to 7 figures to them. So what I do right here. All right, so 1 second, let me pause the screen. All right, so what I do is I go, all right, you tell me if this would work. And what I more so say is, you tell me if this would get you 1 to 2 more clients. All right, you tell me, and then what they're going to say is like, okay, I will tell you. All right, grr. All right, and I put grr as like, they're being aggressive. Like if I say, all right, fine, you don't believe it's worth this, you tell me. And they're going to be like, all right, I will tell you. All right. So what I'm doing is I'm guiding them in a point where they're going to see like, all right, I will determine its value. All right. I will look at what you're saying, Alex, and I will determine its value for myself. All right. So they have to do the math for themselves while trying to prove you wrong. All right. And what they can't do, the way I'm guiding their thought process, and I'm not this evil, guys. This is just selling stuff. But the way I'm guiding their thought process, there is no way for them to prove me wrong without there just isn't. All right. But the way that through the thought process I'm directing them through, then there you go. And by the way, guys, when you're selling through webinars, you don't have to have like this crazy thought process. All right. I'm just showing you exactly what I'm doing. How many people enjoy this information real quick? Okay, cool. All right. So I have to get them to do the math for themselves. I have to get them over the skeptical bump So they're truly paying attention. They're truly everything. All right. They're truly on board with the Alex wagon. All right. So let's say. So what I showed in the webinar was a screenshot. And by the way, guys, I've removed screenshots of my clients' sites, their rankings, their names. All right. I keep some info private for myself, and I don't want to go tooting my clients' websites over the web. I actually need them to stay ranking. So what I have is a screenshot of my client's rankings. And what I have right here, and I have two screenshots literally of him ranking first for 2 suburbs surgeries. And they're 2 rich suburbs. They're just, boom, he's right up there first. And I have a picture of a YouTube video, and I have a picture of another site that I created for this client. This is one of my first clients, the one who pays me the most. I have a picture of another website showing up right underneath the YouTube video. So I'm literally dominating the top 3 rankings of both searches very, 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 very easily. You guys literally saw how, like, have any of you guys saw how easily I ranked in Google for like drive Lamborghini? I mean, did anybody like see how easily I was able to do that with the YouTube video? Yeah, if anybody doesn't know, if you go into Google right now and you type like any combination of drive Lamborghini or what's it like, you see my video showing up first. It's looking like it's up to like 30,000 views. So with that thought process, guys, it's extremely easy to rank a YouTube video for these searches and then rank an exact match domain right underneath them, just using PR links. So keep that in mind. So what I do is I say, look, would this get you a client? They're like, what am I looking at? Well, you're looking at these Google searches right here. Here's these suburbs right here. And you can see this person is ranked top 3 for both of these searches. Now, guys, would this get you 1 to 2 clients per month? Would this get you at least 1 client per month? All right. Would it get you a client? Most of the audience said yes. All right. So back up to my logic, back up to what my logic thought again. And this is all happening in split seconds. This is not happening like over the span of minutes. All right. These slides go by like literally the webinar only took about 45 minutes. But I'm saying, look, would this get you a client? They go, yes. Then by the logic that you told me, this is worth 6 figures to you. All right. So toolbox moment real quick. With high-end clients, when you take on a client, guys, if anybody has gone out there taking on a client, I know a few people have. When you have a high-end clients and you have less low-end clients, you can make statement rankings where you just dominate an entire search. You have a lot of extra time to do some really cool stuff for your clients, like jam YouTube videos and exact match domains up there for the same keywords they're ranking for. All right, so it just makes absolutely great advertising. All right, because I can go out there and say, look, this person's absolutely blanking this page. How could they not get a client? Like, explain to me how they could not get a client from this. All right. So if you don't have a client yet, why are you not doing one of the 2 things I also talked about before? Why are you not doing like the famous intern approach where you just call or you find people in your area or not even in your local area, just well-known people in your niche and say, hey, I'm just building a name for myself, or heck, don't even say you're building a name. I'm collecting case studies right now for my big, famous, huge business. Or I don't use that words exactly. But I'd like to just rank you guys for a few searches, 100% free. All right, there's no risk whatsoever, 100% free, blah, 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 blah. All right, and find people don't have SEO companies already, so they're like, oh, what a deal. All right, but going out there, that's a great way to go out there and get some example, and it looks like you can say, hey, these are my clients that are ranking. Sure, they're not paying you quite yet, but it's a great example for when you're in a webinar, and it takes you literally 10 seconds to do. Or making demo sites. You guys saw how easily I was able to go out there and rank for rhinoplasty surgery Plano. Why not do that with your own site? All right. If you need those examples right there you go. All right. So what I then do, guys, is I go out there and I show them my client ranking for 6 searches, just like the ones I just showed them. All right. So I have more ranking screenshots right here. And I go, and what I'm doing again is I'm again building reliability by them using the service in their head. All right. I'm literally just saying, look, guys, I'm not trying to put any numbers in your head. Would you get 2 clients from this if you're showing up for all 6 of these searches? They all go, yes. Would you get at least 1 client? Yes. Yes. Okay. So I am not telling them what the value of my service is. By how much the number they have in their head, they are deciding the value of the service in their heads. I'm not telling them. All right. So what I'm doing now, guys, when I show them this big wide search right here, I'm building more reliability by just saying, all right, well, look at this. Look at this. And what I'm doing is I'm increasing it. All right. So look, I show them in this slide right here. I'm saying, look, this will get you 1 client. And there's no way I could have jumped from 0 to 2 clients. So I start with 1 client, and then I literally just say, all right, well, will this get you 2 clients? Yes. And the reason why they're able to justify it in their head is because they said yes before, and I already showed them that result. All right. It's literally like if you're driving a Lamborghini V10, all right, you go out for a test drive, and it gets you going to like 190 miles per hour. All I'm gonna have to say to you is that I'm justifying in your head, like you wouldn't need to test drive the next level up. I'd say, all right, well the V10 got you at 190. Wouldn't the V12 get you all the way to 205? Yes, of course. And that I'm using correlation via I don't know, justifications in their head, big words vis-a-vis per se. But does everybody see where I'm going with that? Give me an X if you understand that. Give me a bunch of X's. All right. Yeah. All right. So I literally go out there, I show them one thing, and I explain it a lot more on the side. Like, look at all these rankings right here. Look at how they're showing up. When anybody ever in those suburbs types that in, they're the first thing they see it for like 6 searches down. All right. So of course, guys, if the V10 gets you this kind of results, wouldn't the V12 get you this kind of results? Of course. And at this point, they're telling me and themselves, yes, this will work and this will make me more money. Better yet, they've assigned the value in their heads. All right. This is how I've gotten them to go out there and justify in their heads that my business, that my service is worth $30,000 per month, at least in revenue for them. All right. This is how I've gone out there and done that. All right. And better yet, with this 2 client example right there, I've gotten them to say, all right, this is definitely worth $30,000 per month to me, but it could be worth $60,000. I better pay attention. All right. You see how I've gone from having absolutely no value besides my words to having 7-figure, 6-figure value to them literally within 3 slides. All right. Give me a why. Give me a why if you think that's cool. All right. And I'm never saying, well, my service is worth this and much, and this is a $10,000 value at a one-time special price. They have the value in their head before I ever show the price. All right. And I'm going to show you how I use that to get way more opt-ins at the end of this webinar. All right. So cool. Now that you believe me, let me show you how to do this for free. All right. You see what I've done. They're like, this is worth $30,000 per month to me. And I come back. All right, cool. Now that you believe this is worth $30,000 per month, let me just give you this $30,000 per month gift for free. You see how I have them hooked now. All right. I have the value of what I'm talking about to be massively, massively high to them. And now I'm saying, let me just give you this massive $30,000 car for free. Yes, of course. Such value I'm giving them. And one thing I want to step back and say, guys, even on like an evil note, I've really not given them any value whatsoever so far. All right. And it's just before you say, I really haven't given them such value. I haven't given them that much value so far. But in their heads, I'm about to just give them the keys of the world. All right. Massive perceived value. And imagine, guys, what if I started off this webinar real quick? I said, look, guys, I'm going to teach you how to do SEO. It's one of the best way to get clients online. And I just whip out all the big guns. I'm like, look, this is where you get your PR links. These are the services I buy. Heck, you don't even need me. You can just go here and here. I would have given massive value, but very, very little perceived value. Yeah, exactly. You see that? Yeah, they would have just, yeah, exactly. So that's how I go out there and make my services already in their heads be worth a lot more. That's why if you want to go out there, guys, I see a lot of people out there, like, I see a lot of people go out and like, all you have to do is just give value all the time. All you have to do is give value all the time. Trust me, guys, I give more value than anybody else in the whole entire world, but you have to have perceived value for the value you're giving out for people to really be like, oh, God, all right, so keep that in mind, all right? So that's how you make, even if you want to give out lots of value, that's how you make people really value what you're about to say. All right. So I want to show you how to do this. All right. All right. So that's the question. All right. So question, where would my value be if I had not done it? All right. It definitely would not have been at $20,000+ per month. All right. It definitely would not have been. That is the answer to that question. So what I didn't add, this is the next slide. So I go, look, guys. So yes, by what you've told me, this is potentially worth 7 figures to this. Now, the whole entire time, I'm posting this back on them. I'm saying, look, by what you're saying this, not me. All right, I'm like, so does everybody agree on that? Does everybody agree by what I said before in the examples we went through, this is worth 6 to 7 figures to you? Tons of yeses come back. Tons of yeses. Tons of people have just told me the shit that's about to come out of my mouth, is worth hundreds to millions of dollars to them. All right. I'm putting the words back in their mouth. They tried to prove me wrong, and by the thought process I led them through, they proved me right. Okay, so keep that all in mind. All right, so let's hop on to the next slide. All right. So now, guys, here's what we do. All right. So now that I've built up the value of everything I'm saying so much, I've built up the value of SEO in their heads. Now it's time for me to link the SEO and link myself as the authority to SEO. All right. If I'd started off the webinar real quick, and let me just, starting off with who I am would not have been the best way to grab their attention, nor would they believe how much I could help them. All right. If I came out and like, I'm the authority in SEO, all right, SEO in their minds, like in their little thought data banks, does not have any value to them. So I'm like, look, I'm the authority of building anthills. All right. It doesn't matter. All right. But now SEO has a $30,000 price tag on it per month. They're thinking about buying a new car and stuff like that. So now what I'm going to say is, all right, guys, let's back up. Now that they know SEO can be super helpful to them, now I can say I'm the authority in SEO, and it means I can super help them. All right, so they think SEO can really help them, and now the fact that I'm the authority in SEO means I can super help them. You see how I multiplied the word super times 2. All right, so big thing to keep in mind, guys, is authorities don't mean anything if they don't understand what the subject matter is. So that's why you should never really introduce the webinar as, hey, I'm Nick. I'm just picking on you, Nick. As I'm Nick, SEO marketing expert. Look at me. Here I am with like doing Kurt Warner's SEO, and here's me like with like Lil Wayne, like ranking him for bling in Google. All right, it doesn't matter until they understand what the connection. All right, the subject. All right, get that? So everybody get that real quick. Everybody give me an X if you're following along. Okay. All right. Everybody give me a 1 if you're excited about this information. You're just giddy with happiness. Okay, cool. All right. All right. So what do I do here? All right. First off, my first slide. Look, I have to take everything I'm doing right here because my toolbox isn't as frankly as strong as it should be. All right. And if you have a kind of a weak toolbox, this is how you're going to do it for your determined niche. So what I want to do is I want to build authority in the SEO niche and then link that back over to the surgeon niche. All right. So look, I say, hey, look, I'm Alex Becker. I'm former Air Force. I've moved a few things out of here. All right. Used to be a search marketing director at a national marketing agency. I work with a few multi-million-dollar brands such as blank, blank, and blank. Technically under a non-disclosure. I'm not totally under. Yeah, I think I'm under a non-disclosure agreement to talk about that and then release replays of it on the internet. Then I built a $3.5 million search marketing brand in just 1 year. So people are like, well, this is impressive stuff. It doesn't really relate to me, but it's impressive. All right. And I'm featured in such places as, Search Marketing Journal, blah, 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 other places like that. All right. These are impressive stats, but they're unrelated. And you can see how I put a picture of me teaching people. All right. Like this is me at a conference teaching, a crowd of 10 million SEOs how to tie their shoes. All right. So there you go. So then I link it back to why this matters to you. All right. So I've taken the impressive things. I'm like, wait, we're going to link it to that. It's like, I don't know the exact metaphor, but everybody gets how I'm linking the impressive stats. I took the most impressive things about myself I could think about that they would understand, and then I link it back to their niche. All right. Does everybody get that real quick? If you have a weak toolbox, find the most impressive things you've ever done in your whole entire life, and then link it back to it. All right. So, all right. So why does it matter to you? All right. Look, I've helped hundreds of surgeons across the country in 27 states. Does this mean I've worked with 27 surgeons in 27 states? No. It means I've ran webinars and I've looked at the states and where people are coming in from and their email addresses and so forth, and then dotted the areas where I've worked at, or dotted the areas where they're from. So I can literally say, look, I've helped hundreds of surgeons. I've had close to 90 surgeons in my webinars by now in 27 different states. You see, I could have said like, look, I've ran these webinars and had a total of 90 attendants, or I can say I've worked with surgeons across the country in 27 states. All right, just simple ways of, I don't know, you know what to take with that. So look, then I go out there and look, I've generated over $220,000 in revenue for clients in just the past 3 months. Clients just like you. All right, currently publishing a book. All right, look, if you are not getting on the book thing, all right, if you don't want to go out there and make yourself an authority by going out there and making your own quick book on it, I say, look, I'm currently publishing a book on surgical search engine marketing. All right, well, he's currently publishing. That's cool. All right, so there you are. All right, so and I say like you're going to see it very soon or something like that. All right, and I specialize specifically in mommy makeover specialists. All right, which is everyone in the audience. I believe at this point I was like, who here is a mommy makeover specialist? And everyone's like me, and I'm like, oh, go figure. So look, and then also I say, look, I'm followed by over 100,000 online marketers online. All right, I bring it back to them and attach the form big numbers to give the niche numbers believability. All right, so look. If I came out like cold turkey and was like, look, I made my clients $220,000 in revenue, they'd be like, I don't know if I believe you. But if they see me back up here and I'm like, look, I have a $3.5 million brand, they're like, okay, $220,000, that's kind of on the low end. He's being honest. All right. So this is a little quick lesson right there. All right. So what's the next thing? Anybody have any questions real quick? Any questions, concerns? Want to throw out a curse word, anything? Okay, cool. Let's keep going into it. So, in short, I know a thing about making you money. All right. Instead of me being up here, like, one thing I always want to do after you like show people how much you can help them, how awesome you are, you want to tie it back to like, look, I'm just a normal dude. I just know a lot of cool stuff. All right. Or you can go to straight authority approach and be like, I'm the best thing ever in the whole entire world. That's not the approach I go for. That's not the tonality I have. So it's kind of up to you. So keep that in mind. So, all right. So first off, let's talk about getting you leads. All right. So where am I going with this? All right. So big point right here. Another big important point. When you start the webinar off, when you start talking about your service, do not break into the main service benefit. All right. Don't be like, look, you can get more leads and you can rank first in Google and you can be like, have tons of exposure. You want to address the problem feeling they are feeling. You want to break into the problem feeling you can fix. All right. So when surgeons are having trouble getting leads, they don't think, damn, I'm having trouble getting leads. I wish I was ranking at top of Google. They're thinking, damn, I feel capped and I'm confused. I don't know how to find any more leads. I don't know any marketing stuff. I didn't take marketing classes. I'm a surgeon. All right. They're feeling capped. All right. So what I want to say is, look, guys, are you feeling capped? They go, yes, I'm feeling capped. I'm not going to say, are you feeling like you need to be ranking at the top of Google? Because that's not how they're feeling. All right. Same thing when you sell any other product out there. Don't start off with the main benefit, but like you wanna rank and make websites faster. All right. No, that like if you guys when you guys see SEO Zen tomorrow, you're gonna see like the top headline is like, you're freaking sick of building websites. All right. SEO website building sucks. And everyone's like, yes, I relate to that. All right. When you start off with the feeling that people are feeling, that's how you can fix in the breaking it. Because when you're selling anything, you're ultimately fixing the feeling they're feeling. All right. When you're selling, OxyClean, if you guys ever saw the OxyClean commercial, they weren't selling laundry detergent. They were selling people the easy solution or an easy way to feel better about their house being dirty. Or you guys see where I'm going with that. All right. When a person's selling a Lamborghini, they aren't selling a Lamborghini or a $200,000 car. They're selling the feeling of wanting to be feeling exciting and they want to feel cool or something like that. All right. You want to start off with the core emotions. All right. So keep that in mind. Now, you're feeling capped because of this. Well, you can fix this right now and stop feeling that way with this. Then I explain how they can stop doing stuff like that. Then when I start explaining the benefits, all right? But the main benefit is they're feeling capped, and it applies to anything out there, all right? So keep that in mind. Like a lot of people out there, I'll see they'll start headlines and stuff like that with the main big benefit. I've told people to do that in the past, but when you're really trying to sell somebody something, you want to start off with the reason. A lot of people here, I guarantee you, like a lot of people here, joined Dynasty because they weren't feeling like they were moving anywhere. They weren't feeling like their SEO business was growing fast enough. They didn't feel like they could reach a high income and potential. And the stuff I told them made them feel like they could. So then you guys are here listening to me talk about how to sell stuff to surgeons. So keep that all in mind. All right. So now what you also have to do next after that is like, look, I'm going to show you how to stop feeling capped. But have you ever gone online and did it go well? And what I'm saying right here is like, I asked them, like, have you ever gone online before? How will that go? It went absolutely horrible. Like one guy's like, I absolutely hated it. A few people were like, yeah, it wasn't so bad. But most people were like, oh my God, worst thing ever. All right. Now look, all right, you have to nix these objections. You have to nix this objection out because look, if you're selling a Lambo to a person who's been in a horrific car accident and is afraid of going fast, you need to address that issue beforehand or you're never going to sell that. All right. That's kind of a weird example right there. But if you have everyone in the audience thinking like, oh, I've been online before, it sucked. You need to get that out of their head before you ever offer them the chance to go online with you. All right. You have to like, again, rework. You have to walk them through a thought process that makes them go, okay, this time is different. This time is different. All right. Biggest thing in the whole entire world. I'll see so many people like marketers just breaking the sales speech when they haven't ever addressed the fact that the person across the table absolutely hates them and everything they do. All right. You have to address that first before you can start telling somebody about all the cool things you're going to do for them. All right. So what I do then at this time, I go, okay, check this out. And you can bring up undeniable results. This is why you need to go out there and start example sites, all right? Literally at the beginning of this month, I sat down and said, look, you need to go out there and make example sites. If you want to ask me right now, What if I don't have any example sites? I'm going to tell you to go F yourself because I told you a month ago and it's super easy to do. All right? So if you don't have undeniable results right now, you need to go get undeniable results. That's the solution for that. Sorry to be a prick about that, but that's just the way it is. All right? So, all right, what did I say? Who's been sold and ultra clean and all property? Okay. All right, so imagine this in a different kind of perspective, all right? Have you guys ever seen like the OxyClean commercial before, all right? How many people have seen like a super clean it all product on the store, on store shelves, and then be like, well, I bet it really doesn't clean everything because I had this product back in the day or something like that. How many people have you ever seen a product that you, if it really did work, you would buy it, but you don't believe it did? All right, cool. Someone asked how many sites would you suggest we rank as examples? A frick ton, as many as you can. They take like 10 seconds to rank, especially if you're picking the right niches. All right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Dan says I still bought it. All right, now when someone says results, no, I just show the rankings. All right, when you're talking about building the site and stuff like that, surgeons and stuff, Robin, don't really they don't know what goes into the site. They see the end result. All right, you're selling the end result, not the process. So look, what you guys really should go and do is look at some of the best infomercials. I actually have started sitting around watching infomercials, like the best ones, like the highlight reel of infomercials when I'm bored. Great had it, Alex. Anyways, if you ever looked back at like OxyClean, all right, they're like, this thing is going to clean your whole entire house and will make everything clean, and you'll never have to worry about cleaning everything again. If you've murdered 8 people in your house, you will be able to clean up your whole entire house. Millions of people were like, oh yeah, I bet so. And then what's his name? Danny Mays, I think that's his name, goes out there and then cleans like, I don't know, like dog shit that's been roasted on top of someone's t-shirt that's been there for like 15 years. He goes and does that, all right? He lines up undeniable proof, all right? So everybody was watching this commercial at the time goes, okay, well, no, I've used cleaning products before. They sometimes work, but they're not going to clean, all the awful examples I've given out so far, all right? And then what does he do? He goes and cleans those up, or he does that. All right, so what I did with undeniable results is I showed them my clients' rankings again. So one where I'm ranking the YouTube video, the exact match in the client site, top 3 for each of the searches. And I go, look, did any other searches, I think this is the next thing I see in it. Oh, okay. All right. So I go, look, I pull up my clients' rankings, and the blue represents where the screenshots were. And I say, look, when you went out there, did you get results even in the ballpark of this? How many people did SEO before? A lot of people raise their hands. I'm like, how long did they tell you to get on? It would take to get on the first page, or like 6 months or something like that. I got this guy's ranking results in 3 weeks. All right, check out these results right here. Check it all out right there. Bam, 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 bam. All right. Did anything you guys do ever get results like this? They go, well, no, they didn't. And I go, okay, well, this is different. All right, this is different. All right, this is not like other people. I am awesome. All right, in a nutshell. All right. So what I want to do, does everybody get that real quick? Yeah. Someone said, Andrew asked a good question. A lot of this seems similar to making a sales video presentation. Is this also usable in making those too? Yeah, there's a different pace for sales videos. There's different levels of interaction and stuff like that. Yeah, but I'll definitely get into that in the future. Definitely, for sure. I didn't even think about that. Thank you, Andrew. All right, so what do I want to do now? All right, what I did before this webinar, I literally had the people email me. Like after they emailed, I said, hey, I'm gonna go and get someone more clients. Literally this time, just send me your website, and then like your keyword. Of course, I know their keyword, and then like your local area, and then I found like the area code or whatever. All right. So if you guys saw during a webinar, I brought a doctor on, and then literally before the webinar, I had like 5 or 6 days. I ranked her for a keyword. All right. And some people might ask, what if you fail to rank her for a keyword? Then just don't put it in the webinar. Just don't do it. But if you do, I went out there, I ranked her for like her area code and like her suburb. All right. And I literally just went out there. I'm like, boom, ranked her for it. All right. Bam, right up there. So, and I go, look what I've done for this doctor right here. Look what I've done. Undeniable proof. Undeniable proof that I rock. All right. And I also say, all right, how many people here think this will get her a client? Just maybe one client this year. Everyone's like, yeah, I do. So like, look, I literally just made this woman $30,000 in front of the audience. Remember the justification for one client in their head. I'm never saying who thinks this is going to make you boatloads of money. I'm saying, well, this gets you one more client. All right. So And then what I do, guys, is I say, who wants to increase their lead potential right now? And what I do is I go out there, and all I did, guys, is I just optimize this guy's website in front of the audience, and I explain what I'm doing. All right. Now, of course, I went and found some guy who did not have an optimized website. All right. I don't want to go out there and be like, go to a super optimized website and be like, oh, your website is perfectly optimized and it's ranking higher than I could get it. No, you find some person who's like in the boondocks. You have the people yell out their names or their rankings or whatever, and you find some guy that's just like way in the boondocks who has like an HTML page and stuff like that. So then I go, all right, Dr. Mangello. All right, let's just say that. All right. I say, look, we're going to go and increase your lead potential live right here on this webinar. Does that sound cool? And they go, oh, yeah, because I've done all this stuff before. He's like, oh, man, I'm so excited. All right, it's like I'm doing a freaking magic show. All right, so what I'm doing, I'm going out there and I'm teaching them how to optimize their website. Now, why am I doing this? Well, of course, to teach, all right? But why I'm really doing it is I'm building believability. I'm teaching them. I'm showing them. I'm being an authority in their eyes. I'm showing them a little bit of the thought process behind my quotation marks genius, all right? I'm building total faith I can do this for them. I'm doing it live right in front of them and teaching them like, hey, this is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing that. How cool is that? Blah, blah. And I'm building that expertise and authority right in front of them, as well as building that undeniable proof. All right, I showed them undeniable proof. Now I'm showing them behind the scenes. All right. Now, on top of that, combine undeniable proof with lax understanding. All right, what I mean by lax understanding, of course, they don't really understand SEO, but they have a relaxed understanding. If I say I'm going to sell you SEO, they know I'm going to go out there, build these backlink things and optimize their website with quotation marks. All right, so it's like if I show them a Lamborghini can go 230 miles per hour, and I explain to them, oh, it's because there's a V12 engine in there, and it rotates at this certain speed, and that's the key to it, and it won't break down because of this, and that. They go, all right, I think I have enough understanding to, operate this vehicle. All right, so you see why I'm teaching. Like, I'm not only teaching giving value, but I'm doing all these things at the same time. All right. Someone asked, did I shoot a private blog network link at our site to do that? Yep, just boom, right up there. All right, so boom, this is after the presentation's done. All right, again, you tell me, do you think this will get him a few more leads this year? All right, they just told me themselves, like before this, I think if he did this for me, okay, rewind. All right, so I asked him, hey, look, do you think this will get him a few more leads this year? Most of the crowd says 1, they say yes. All right, so look what happens in their head, kind of yes, ladder wise. And by the way, if you've noticed, I have them saying yes over and over and over again this whole entire webinar. Yes ladder is kind of a common NLP tactic. I just think it makes it easier. It's easier than saying yes, no, yes, no. Anyways, when they say this, when they answer my question, I go, they literally say in their heads, I think if he did this for me, it would get me more leads too. All right? Boom. Total faith in what I'm doing. Total freaking faith in what I'm saying. They've assigned a value. They have total faith in what I'm doing. At this point, I literally have them sold. All right, I literally could just say, who would like to do the application? I'm getting bored of this webinar. I probably would get a few applications. All right, so everybody following along. Everybody get that? Give me a 1 or an A or a U or there we go. Cool. All right. So what do you got up next? Now, what I like to do in webinars, it's up to you. I suggest it. I like to shake it up and prove my niche expertise, all right? Because they probably dealt with other marketers before in the past, but they don't really know anything about mommy makeover surgery. So I'm like, look, guys, we got a freak trend of divorcees here. Who wants to hear about how to like triple your income with divorcees? All right. So what do I do, guys? All right. First, I've explained to them why divorced women. Let me check the time real quick. Let me make sure we're not going too crazy over. Okay, we're going a little bit crazy over, but we'll get into this. All right. So I say, first off, who's actively, all right, I just explained why divorced women are easier to target, all right, in their heads. Just really sell the idea to them. And it really is, because after a woman gets divorced, and usually if the man was richer, the first thing she does is she goes and spends it on plastic surgery, all right? So I explain this to them, all right? Just in a nutshell. I don't really, you guys see how I say that. I make it seem really, really, really easy, all right? It's like giving a kid $1 million and then building a Lamborghini dealership across the street. Just, again, building excitement and believability. All right, so next thing I do is let me show you something, how I get my client an insane ROI with divorcees. And I want to at least give you something to play with. Because again, I'm teaching them new cool stuff. Like, this is just overwhelming them with how awesome I am now. I've already showed them that my SEO stuff will work. I still want to show them that I'm perfect for them. All right. Remember, all these things I'm doing right here, I'm never ever coming out and saying I'm perfect for you, I'm worth this much, I'm blah blah. They're always justifying it in their own head. All right, so I want to give you guys something at least to play with. So what's going on here? The reason why I do this is, wow, holy smokes, he's so clever and he knows me so well. He knows the surgical niche. Not only is he SEO expert, not only have I already agreed with him that I have faith that he can get me results and I have a value in my head for his business, but he also is the perfect match for my business. He's a surgical marketing specialist. He really is. He's the true thing. All right. I just read a few marketing books, which you should go do as well. All right. So what I did is I just did a live demo with some super useful info. You guys know the email marketing stuff I showed you guys? I showed them the same exact thing, but how to go out there and find the emails of divorced women. And then I show them, like, I also go out there and I build an email, like an email campaign right in front of them during the webinar. Just like for a lady in the audience, I'm like, hey, let me just create an email campaign for you. All right. So what this also does is build massive value for me. It also gives me something to sell them in the future. One thing I hope you guys take away from this is you can sell a lot more things on top of SEO. All right, if you get your first client per month and you have trouble breaking $2,500 per month, upsell them $1,000 extra to run all their email marketing for them. All right, very, very easy to do once you kind of take this stuff. And I also recommend everybody go out there and read some Dan Kennedy books so you have tons of different ideas on how you can help local businesses. All right. Because you guys already have the perfect way to sell them virtually anything ever. So keep that in mind. And even if you don't want to target high niches, you can do this for like virtually any business. There aren't very many people out there selling email marketing, even though it's like the best thing in the whole entire world for small businesses. Anyways, I go out there and do that, and it really creates that value. And it makes me a non-one-trick pony and more of like a marketing consultant. And I meant to put marketing consultant on that, not marketing con. All right. So it makes me more of a marketing consultant in their eyes and the perfect match. All right. So everybody see that real quick? All right, just looking at the questions real quick. I see some like Cassandra asks, like, how does this application tactic work with a website rather than a click to buy? Yeah, that's exactly, we totally covered that in the last webinar, Cassandra. Just check that out. It's totally covered on how to do the application process. Someone had said, how do we get the email addresses for divorced women? You go to Google and you type in email list of divorcees, of recently divorced people. It's amazing. Yep, and yeah, Martin says, I ran an email campaign for my clients last week using your guidance. They're impressed when they got a phone call in 5 minutes of sending. Yeah, boom, it's just that easy. 1 sec. So Brian asks, did any of your webinar attendees or potential clients ask how many searches there are in Google per month for their terms? They did not. Not a single one. The justification, the way I justify during it is like, look, anytime anybody in these suburbs searches these keywords, they're going to see you. All right, don't you agree with that? Yeah. And the really cool thing right now, the keyword planner really doesn't represent the broad, like, all right, broad matches don't really apply when you're in like basic affiliate marketing because you're always going after solo keywords. But when you get into local marketing, especially high niches, those websites and stuff I was ranking for, each of those generates maybe 5 to 10 visitors per month, and I'm ranking for 6 of them. 60 visitors a month. That conversion rate always gets them a client almost every single time. So keep that in mind, Brian. All right. So Cassandra says on my website, can I send people a web location instead of a click here and buy? What you really want to do after the webinars is send people to the application. There's no, there's no application, there's no buy process before the application, especially in this sales process. So does that help answer your question, Cassandra? Brian asks, how many surgeons have I landed? I've landed 4 on top of my my other client. Yeah, Cassandra, you should never have a click here to buy on any site. Like, you always want to have, especially when you're selling this type of process, you want to have the opt-in. You want to have the direct response. All right. So yes, you totally can send people to an application instead. In fact, I recommend you do that. If you have like a buy now button on your site for like a high end deal like this, that they probably won't hit the buy now button. So okay, guys, I'm gonna jump back into it and finish up the webinar, and then we'll get into some questions. All right. So build up the value right there. Now I'm just basically wrapping everything back up again. All right. And this is kind of where the webinar starts to conclude and where I started to get in the pitch. All right. So look. Everything I'm doing this slide, I'm making them envision the possibilities, admitting that this makes sense, and saying that this would make sense to do. All right. So I'm saying, like, imagine if you covered every suburb in your area for the search mommy makeover multiple times. All right. They've seen me do that. All right. I say, imagine that. All right. So they're imagining that in their head. And I say, but wait, imagine if you cover symptoms and other odd related keywords in your area as well. I say, women rarely know about mommy makeover surgery beforehand. All right. And one thing I want to point out, guys, I'm not even like using proper capitalization. I'm sorry, there's a few grammar errors in here, and the webinar still worked to anybody who's like super nitty gritty. All right. So keep that in mind. All right. And I say, look, imagine that you'd be impossible to miss. All right. You would be impossible to miss. And I say, how many people think you'd be impossible to miss? Everybody's like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right. So what I'm saying then is, would this make you more well known? Would this get you clients? And would this be an awesome marketing route to go? Yes, yes, and yes. All right. So you're saying, all right, I'm picturing all this in my head. I'm admitting that this makes sense. And, oh, yeah, this is a good route to go. This would make sense for my business. All right. Based on the value, based on the faith, everything I've built in the webinar so far. All right. So look, I say, would you like this advantage? All right. Of course, a loaded yes question. Yes, I would. Now, it makes it, when someone says yes, I would like the advantage, it makes it a lot easier to not be like a salesman and say, all right, well, look, if you want that advantage, then it's obviously going to be pretty easy to get you to say, yes, I want to buy that. All right. So they say, yes, I want the advantage. I say, okay, yes, would you like to work with me? All right. This I never really sell them anything before getting them to say, yes, I'd like to work with you, so keep that in mind. All right. So then I recap everything they've told me. All right. So far, you've told me your average revenue per surgery is high. All right. Now I say, if you had this advantage, you would get 1 to 2 more clients per month. You've told me this, guys. You told me this. All right, everyone who's hitting 1 right now, does everybody agree? You've told me this. Yes, 1, 1, 1. So that equals about 360 to 720K in revenue this year. All right, that you want this for your practice. You guys told me a few slides ago you want this for your practice, and that not doing this is hurting your business, and this route is better than what you're doing. All right. So all I'm doing right here is saying, look, you're telling me all this, guys. You are telling me this, so it's not like I'm pushing this on any of you. All right, self-selling. All right, you just told me your problem. And I'm just giving you a solution, guys. So let's get into that. Now, let me tell you a little bit about what I do. All right, since you told me all that. All right. So you guys can probably guess what I put on here. I'm the only surgical marketing specialist that gets these kind of results and revolves around a personal one-on-one basis. All my resources and experience revolve around getting surgeons results in days. This is a very tried and true process. You saw what I've done multiple times in this webinar, guys. You've seen me do this. All right. Same thing, you guys. Same exact thing, same process. And I've done this over and over for my clients. Check this out, all right? Then I literally just go through, and what I do is just have my clients, I get a picture of them, or the clients I get a picture, or any people you've helped for free. This is why the free intern approach works so well. I have a picture, their search rankings, their website, all right? I say, look where he's showing up in search engines. Check out what he has to say. And you guys can hear what he said in the webinar. It was very, very great testimonial. Helped this guy out a lot in the past. So same thing, client 2, same thing for client 3, all the way client 2, client 3. All right, that's just basically what doing right there. Just testimonials from other people. Now, that's why the free intern method and the stuff I talk about works so well, because you can go out there and get people, and you can get out other surgeons, or you get other people in your niches that they probably know because their niches aren't that big, saying, yeah, this guy is great. All right, you need to have other people in your niches that. You can close a few deals without this, but you're going to see a much higher increase if you get a few people just saying, oh, yeah, he's really great at what he does. You can trust this guy. This is, Dr. Dan's website. You can go look him up right now if you want. You see that? All right, so go back through here. All right, where are we going? All right. Now, here's where the big hook comes. All right, now, guys, just another big question. How much would a custom, hand-drawn-out game plan on how to get these results be worth to your business? Pow, all right? They already have a huge number in their head, all right? Huge number in their heads by what I have been asking them. Remember, I've never given them a price tag for my service. Never, ever. But they already have an estimated price tag in their head. And their estimated price tag is probably around $15,000. All right, they have a high number in their head, and I've yet to sign a value even though they already have. All right. Now, what I do, guys, next thing I do, does everybody see how I've really set myself up for success? Robin asks, but what happens if you get a paid client and you have to outrank your free client? Well, don't. My best answer for that is just don't take a client. It's going to be very rare that it happens. All right, very very rare that it happens. Two, if it's a free client, only rank them for a few keywords. Go out there and rank them for semi-competitive keywords. Say, look at the results I got you for free. Don't go out there and don't take a free client on and then rank them for 1,000 keywords in every state. All right, so just keep that in mind. My big answer for you, Robin, is don't worry about shit like that until you actually come to that problem. It's something you should not worry about until you actually have a paid client or free client being like, I need to rank for that search. All right, it's just not a problem you should worry about. It will totally slow you down thinking like that. So then what I do, guys, after I've gone out there, they've gone out there, they put this huge price tag in their head, and they know that I'm about to try and sell them something. So what I do is I create scarcity, I create demand, I create what I like to call the auction mindset. All right, I say, look, guys, even though look, I only take 2 new clients per quarter, and look, I have charged prices upwards of $10,000 per month for my services. Remember the 4 times ROI one of my clients showed you, and that's actually one thing you said. One of my clients said, he said, I've gotten a quadruple ROI. All right. So look, I'm not an open to everyone type of consultant. All right. I'm like, look, we're going to have to go through some stuff to work together. I only take 2 more clients. It's going to be first come, first serve. All right. So look, they know they're about to be sold something. However, most people also assume if they're about to be sold something, it's easily available. But I take it back. I say, look, I'm about to sell you something. But before I sell you something, you need to know that this is not for everybody. It's first come, first serve. I don't have a lot of spots, and this is not everyone's going to get in on this. Or not everybody that wants this is going to get this. This is why people crowd for miles on end to get a PS4 or a PS3 when it comes out. If they could just order online, then they wouldn't do that. All right, they wouldn't have so many people lining up the doors. So before I even sell them anything, I make them go auction mode and VIP only mode. All right, I say, look, you're going to have to fight for this. Okay, I'm going to fight for it. All right, that's just that simple. All right, they already also have that massive value and faith in their head. I can't re-tap on that enough. And then basically what I do is I just go and I have a simple step to actually creating attention when pitching. All right, I take away, I make there be massive demand for it before I ever let out the price. Then when I say, guys, after I build up this massive demand, massive value. All right, at this point, guys, there's massive demand, massive value, massive faith, everything I need to charge a high price. All right. But I want my conversions to be higher. I want to meet with these people one-on-one. But they don't know that, all right? I have something that will absolutely hook them right here. And I say, what if I told you you can have just that for free at no risk for you? I built up the value. They are fearing the price. And I say, oh, wait, it's free. That's insane. That's insane. That's like they're about to get hit by a truck in the face. And then suddenly there's just nothing there. They're like, wait, what? All right, I have them hooked right now. Wait, I can get this Lamborghini for free right now. Bam. All right. So it's literally when a Lambo dealer, what a lot of exotic car dealers will do is they'll build up the price and the value to extraordinarily high levels. So the person's like, oh man, I hope I can afford this, or they're intimidated by it. And then they say, oh my God, look at this super long-term monthly payment loan. All right. Most exotic cars have 144-month loans. So you can actually get some Lamborghinis for the price of normal cars, monthly. All right. You just got to do it at that point. You just got to do it. Does everybody see that real quick? I built the value, and then I say, look, it's free, but only first come, first serve. Yeah, exactly. And that's what creates the massive vacuum. All right. I build up the massive value, then I create demand for it, and then I pull the price away so there's a massive rush. It's literally I'm corking the drain. I filled up the tub so much, and then I uncork the drain and just that's the noise it makes. All right. So this last webinar, I got 6, Andrew, and I converted 1, and then that's the last client I'm doing it with. That's 6 out of 24 people, so that's a pretty good application rate for that. Only had to go through 2 applications to find one too. So anyways, so what if I told you could just have that for free? I'm removing all the pain and asking them to stand up and say, yes, I want this. All right, they have that massive value and everything in their head. And for me to really get the $5,000 deal or $8,000 deal or $4,000 deal closed, I need to be with them one-on-one and be like, let's make sure, let's go through all the finely tuned stuff. Let's do all the paperwork behind the scenes. All right. I'm not going to get anybody to do any of the paperwork or the buying process in this webinar. They don't have a credit card next to them where they're going to spend $5,000. They don't have the routing number. They don't have the contracts. They don't have the nitty-gritty stuff they have. So there's no point in me trying to sell to them at all. Instead, I can create the vacuum and pull them all to me. And then when they're ready, when we have the pen and paper out, they have their checkbook out, then we can start talking about it and close the deal. All right, you see how that works. All right, so basically I say I want to sit down and give you an hour. I want to sit down with you for an hour and give you a game plan, a solid step-by-step way to improve your practice this month. Remember the value in their heads. This is just a no-brainer. It's like, hey, would you like this car for free? Would you like to go home and take this car out for free? Whatever. All right, I've just literally removed all the pain, and that is how you get people to sign up for your webinar. That is how you build the massive value. That's how you build the massive faith, and that's how you get the vacuum effect to get everybody just sending you applications. All right. I got 6 applications with people knowing how expensive I am. Exactly, just that I'm not for everybody. I got them racing and fighting for me. Not every single application had like a super hard on where like, I want to just take my money now. But 2 of the people, because of the impact out there, were like, hey, I really am interested in this. And I picked one of them. All right. You see how that works? Does everybody like that? Does everybody understand the play-by-play now? Give me a 1 if you really enjoyed that information. So instead of my now charging like 10K, I have as much clients as I really want to work with personal time-wise. So, at the current rate, it's a little bit over 35K per month, and I'm A-okay with that on that part of the business. Right now, I'm really trying to grow SourceWave as a whole, and that's my big thing. I just really wanted to go out there and, A, show this can be done, and then B, an extra that much per month is always nice. So, cool. Cool. All right, well, okay. Oh, wait. Final process. What you need to do. And I'm always talking about, here's what you need to do. Here's what you need to do. If you ever notice, I have in every sales video with, you want this. Good. Here is what you need to do. All right, so many sales videos are like, I'll see you inside. Bye. And I don't do that. So, look, what you want to do is you want to give them a short URL. All right, and what I always do is I make a WordPress page, and I redirect it to my actual application page. Or you can just actually make it the shortened URL page, whatever you want to do. Something that's easy for them to type in, and then I paste it in the comment box over and over again. All right, just, where's the comment box? I'll do that later. All right, and I tell them, look, you need to fill out this application. All right, short URL, paste in the comment box. All right, just pasting it over and over again. Then watch the video after. It's full of cool stuff. Remember the funnel setup I always talk about. Watch the video afterwards, telling you all the cool stuff you're about to get. My assistants will schedule a meeting time with you, simply have a response from an email, and I'll give you a rock-solid plan to grow your practice, custom suited for you. If we decided we were right to work together, no pressure at all. Pressure scares people away. That's kind of an easy no-brainer. Then we will work together. All right? Go do that now. And then what I also do, guys, is all right, hey, let me know when you're going and filling out the application, because I told you there's scarcity. There's first come, first serve. And so I'm like, all right, Dan's filling out the application. Brian's filling it out. Nick, tell me why you're filling it out. All right. Then they say, oh, it's a no-brainer. It's blah, blah, blah. It's so. I'm like, great, awesome. I'll see you guys inside. In fact, Dan, you were the first application. You're going to get first access to this. We're going to be talking first, blah, blah, blah. That's something I could have done, actually. During this webinar, I believe, I didn't say, all right, guys, it's first come, first serve. I did. And also, there's a few things you can also do to get people to respond faster to the application and get people to respond. Like some people might write the URL down and be like, all right, I'll respond later. But I'll be like, look, I'm closing the application in 15 minutes after this meeting. So you have to go do this right now. All right, we will be filled, so I won't even be reading any more applications of that. Or I'll say, look, the first 3 people that turn in an application, I'll rank a page for you for free before we even meet. All right, and go rank them for an easy turn. Those are all great ways to get people to act now and then go fill out the application. There is a sample. If you guys go check out, I don't remember the URL off the top of my head, and I'm unprepared to give it to you. But if you go check out the webinar, the last webinar, all right, there's a link to the application. There's a link to a demo page where you can literally go out there and just buy it. Or not buy it. I mean, look at the application. So it's right under the last webinar we did. So cool stuff. Cool stuff. All right, so does everybody feel a little bit better about selling via webinars? We've spent an extent. You now have 3 hours, actually more like 5 hours of extensive webinar selling training. Yeah, yeah. So someone said, good question, Carl. When you start the webinar and start rapport building, do the early attendees text you, or are you opening lines to talk to them directly? I start just talking to myself. And granted, webinars are really weird to give because you're literally just in your house talking to yourself. It's kind of strange. But once you get into it, it's not too bad. But yeah, I literally just start talking to myself and stuff like that. Sometimes in webinars, guys, too, it's good to talk to yourself. And then, one cool thing, guys. All right, say your webinar is not going as great as you want it to. Say you got 20 people in there and it's not going as great. You're not getting a lot of responses and stuff like that. This has happened to me before. All right, what you want to do when you ask questions and stuff like that, have just pre-sorted names in your head. All right, and be like, oh, okay, well, Steve over here says blah blah. Because in your audience, there's always going to be people that are listening, but some audiences don't respond or talk as much as other ones. So if you're like, hey, how's everyone's night going? And like it's like chirp, chip, or chipper, chipper, chipper. Yeah, you don't want to be like, oh, well, quiet audience, ha ha ha. Maybe you guys will talk to me later. Just be like, oh yeah, Steve, it's good to see you too, blah blah, and like just go start doing stuff like that as well. Especially when you're like pitching and stuff like that. If the audience isn't too responsive and stuff like that, there are going to be people in the audience that are responsive. So you don't want to lose the fact that those few people are responsive. They feel there's a scarcity. They want to act now, and you don't want to lose that fact by being like, well, I guess no one really is hopping in on this. Don't ever do that. So cool stuff. Cool, cool, cool. So does anybody have any questions about webinars? I'm going to be answering a few questions about webinars to get it going. Anything link building and stuff like that, we'll just have to save for another time. I do have a huge launch tomorrow, so this we'll have to save that for Infinitum or something like that. Someone said, did I have a fake Dan or Richard in that webinar? I actually did not. I actually did not. It was actually a very responsive crowd. I like to use the name Dan though all the time though. It's a great name, and I actually had someone named Daniel. So there you go. Robin asked, "What's the dropout rate reasons? What does that mean?" After application, usually it just well, one, they don't like you, and that's really not a problem with me. I've talked to enough people that they know what they're getting into. I mean, that's why it's also good to also express your personality. Don't be really serious in webinars. If you're like the second you get on the phone, you're like wah, and tell them like knock knock jokes and shit. Usually it is. It's just it's not the right thing for them. Or you'll have very few. One thing you can do to get people that aren't serious from not signing up, you make there be a $500 deposit that they get back afterwards. That's something Frank Kern does. I didn't do it in this webinar. Usually, just after that, the dropout rate is really just it wasn't right for them, or it wasn't right for me, or we really couldn't really. There just wasn't really the right time. There's usually isn't like no one's usually like, well, thanks for wasting my time, dickhead. But there's like, oh well, this isn't really the right thing for me, but I really appreciate your time. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. That's also why the application process is there, so you can look at the application. Anybody who's not making enough money, you just don't meet with and stuff like that. You always want to pick the right one. So Robin asked you schedule a 1 hour session straight after. Yeah, have yourself respond to the application within a reasonable point of time. Don't like wait like 2 weeks and then be like, hey, it's Alex from that webinar. We should meet. Steven has to use fake people as names in webinars, like use fake testimonials and stuff like that. Especially in small niches, especially like the mommy makeover niche, where any name I throw out there, that's why I didn't use names out there, because there aren't that many mommy makeover specialists. Any name I throw out there, you could easily just go out there and just like Google real quick, and then throw mommy makeover on the end of it. So in small niches, especially, you don't want to run that shit. You really don't want to run that shit in any niche whatsoever. That's why false testimonials are really bad juju. Not I'm all for like whatever you got to sell, and even beyond like the honor and trustworthiness, there will always be people, and that's why I always like double check my results, and I always have like everything factually backed, because there will always be a person who will like see like one sliver of something, go and like Wikipedia search it down to the core, and then like come back and be like, ah! So testimonials, names, and stuff like that, never fake those. Always check with people and always get them going right. So that's my 2 cents on that. Someone said, how do you process the payment? Just PayPal. Howard, the pre-record webinar is in the blueprint section. Just right there, sitting in the middle of the blueprint section. Send me a support email if you can't find it. Yeah, Stephen, also not even testimonials. I would not use anyone's name, especially in niches like this, because they're going to be like, all right, there isn't any Stephen Gilberg in the automation mining niche. This guy is full of crap. There'll always be one person that will find that stuff out. Cassandra, you asked, how can we get you to work with us on a specific deal like that girl you referred to on the sales webinar about 20 minutes? Well, Cassandra, if you need any help, just hit up on the forums. That's all you got to do. I'm there all the time. Just hit me up there. Let's see, what other ones do we have out there? Someone asked, what do you think about running a pre-recorded webinar and answering questions at the end like Frank Kern? Yeah, if you get a really good webinar going out there, that's not a bad idea. That's something I've thought about doing as well. You definitely shouldn't be doing that when you first start off. Just telling you right off the bat, your first few webinars, you might have an amazing first webinar. However, you really want to, and even in any marketing niche, whatever, you want to spend as much time as you possibly can talking in front of people. And that's why, my first webinar, I wasn't able to talk like this and stuff like that. But I've just done literally 100 or so webinars. It's just so casual that I can actually really focus. And there's a lot of composure and stuff in webinars and stuff like that. Just, when the audience isn't responding to stuff, being able to keep your composure and just keep going and going and going. And really know how to handle yourself in a webinar. It's really easy to get thrown off, especially because there's so many things to distract you and not much to keep you on base. Eric asks, can you recommend any other resources other than Kern and Kennedy or anyone else more about these tactics? A lot of these tactics I'm talking about are stuff I've learned at seminars, or I've learned watching other marketers and then picking it up off them. From webinars, I learned it mostly from Mario Brown, and then I just kind of picked it up and ran with it from there. A lot of stuff I don't like. The first webinar I did was like literally a carbon copy of what he taught me, and then I kind of built it off of there. If you guys ever notice with like the pitch for Dynasty, I'm always changing that up to like see what works best. But other sources, the best thing I can ever say is watch other marketers who are doing what you want to do, and then copy them. It's the simplest thing. It works really, really well. The best people you can learn, you're really going to see like Kern actually writing books and stuff like that. He's always going to be teaching kind of around the bush stuff. Not his stuff's great, but the stuff he's teaching is different than what he's doing. The stuff he's teaching works for what it's teaching to do. The stuff he's doing is also to sell what he's teaching. So watch what other people are doing in any niche. Find people who are doing what you're doing and just copy them. That's the best thing to do. Someone said, is there a service you use? I use GoToWebinar with 50 spots. It's like $40 a month or something like that. If we haven't run GoToWebinar before, go into GoToWebinar and start an empty webinar and just go on there and play with it. That's literally what I did. Howard says, do we have a sample application? It's underneath the last webinar we did this last month. So check it out in the webinar section. Andrew asked, did I buy my Lambo in cash or a big fat stack? Buying any exotic car in pure cash would be like the worst thing in the whole entire world. Just depreciation and everything about it. It's just not a smart idea. Try and spend as little as you possibly can on it. I got a 72 month lease, but I should have gotten 144 just because you're going to trade it in eventually. They don't have long lives, unfortunately. So if you ever get an exotic car, don't go out there and buy anything in all cash. It will just set you back a lot of money, and then you'll just have a big investment in something you don't need to be investing a lot in. Yeah. No, I just did the typical car loan. I put 20% down, plus I had the equity in my Maserati, so that totaled about 60,000 down, and I just got it. There you go. So Robin says, do you provide 6 full game plans on the spot or for 6 all applicants? I set times up during the week. You know, sometimes I meet with them throughout the first week. Like I'll do like maybe 3 meetings a week. I really don't try and overwhelm myself. And I also pick the applicants that look the most excited to go and, you know, apply and work with me. If there's some people like, there's a question at the bottom of the application that says, how excited are you to work with me, or something to that effect. If the person's like, hell yeah, let's freaking do this, I'm gonna be like, all right, well, I'm gonna meet with this person first before I do all 6 applications. So, okay, guys. Well, I think a lot of the questions are dying down. Did everybody enjoy this webinar? Did everybody get the value from this? Everybody enjoy this? Give me an XXX. All right. If everybody really enjoyed this webinar. Okay, cool. Awesome stuff, guys. Go out there, get your toolbox done. Go out there, start getting some webinar stuff going, guys. Come on, let's do this. Yeah. Oh, also, if you guys want to, I will be at the OMG event speaking. If anyone's an OMG member, I will be there speaking, doing something. I forgot. I don't know exactly what I'm speaking about yet. I'm just going to go speak about stuff. So if you guys want to go there, cool stuff. It's in Nashville. Awesome stuff. Great guys. Yep. Awesome. Well, I will see you there, Bradley. I will try not to. I'll probably be hungover most of the time. I don't know what I'll be doing at the event, but it'll be awesome. Yep. Someone said our launch is tomorrow. Are we giving a discount? Let me figure that out before I put my foot in my mouth. If there is a discount offered, I'll be releasing it tomorrow, posting it on the forums. Just don't haven't really even like considered like the product, the sales page in the funnel still has to get done. Like I can't even like let people in right now. So cool stuff. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming. God bless all of you for being in Dynasty. Thank you so much for being one of the top cherished members, upper echelon, awesome persons in SourceWave, good personal friends. And I guess I will catch you guys on the forums. Just hit me up. I'll be managing the launch tomorrow. Everything will be hectic, but thank you so much, guys. God bless.